check the performance of their cameras, of course. But here's the thing though. The ideal way to actually check the performance of a camera is not by checking the images on the phone, but by checking them on a color calibrated display. And that's where Mr. Phone comes in. Hi, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and today in our super extensive camera comparison, we're going to compare the OnePlus 6 against the Pixel 2 and the iPhone 10. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? So why are we wasting time? Let's get right down to it. Let's start off by comparing the camera specs. In fact, we've made it easier for you guys this time. Pause the video right now if you want to view the specs. Are you done? Okay, let's move forward. For our first test, we took a wide-angle shot of our office entrance. It makes for a good comparison picture, primarily because the image is littered with a lot of different elements like cars, trees, bushes, buildings, etc. This helps us look for minute differences in details and colors. But trust me, comparing the images was tough. All the three samples look pretty identical when you don't zoom in. However, you will immediately notice that the Pixel 2 has a tendency to over-dramatize images by underexposing the dark areas and cranking up the contrast. While it does look good, I can assure you that it is not an accurate representation of what your eyes actually see. And as far as color saturation and details are concerned, all the phones are on par. Therefore, I can't really pick one image that comes out on top for me. Having said that, when I scrutinize the 100% crop of all the three samples, I noticed that the OnePlus uses a wider 25mm focal length to capture the image, compared to the 28mm used by the iPhone 10 and the Pixel 2. Therefore, when you look at the samples closely, the OnePlus 6's image is the only one that keeps the word Big Bazaar in the focus at around the edges. Moreover, the lens distortion around the edges is slightly better balanced in the OnePlus 6's image. Honestly, you need microscopic eyes to spot the difference, so it won't really matter. I'm going with the OnePlus 6 in this round, but it was a very close call. I mean, the difference is barely negligible. Our second shot is once again a wide shot of a water hose. The OnePlus 6 and the Pixel 2 both exhibit a warm color cast that makes the whole image look yellower than normal. The iPhone 10 captures a fairly natural looking color tone of the lot. Note that the color temperature issue can be fixed in post-processing easily. And as far as details are concerned, the OnePlus 6 once again manages to retain the details across the image. The Pixel 2 isn't far behind though. It is surprising to see the level of details you can achieve with the OnePlus 6. Like I said before, since color cast can be fixed in post, I'm going to give more preference to detail retention. And the OnePlus 6 comes out on top again. One look at this picture of the hibiscus flower and the thought that comes to my mind is, oh Google, what sorcery have you done with the camera algorithm? I mean, just look at it. I can easily fool anyone by making them believe that this photograph was captured by a DSLR. The iPhone 10 suffers with noise bleeding and the reds look extremely saturated. The OnePlus 6 does a good job with details and edge detection, but ends up creating a warm color cast once again. The Pixel 2 wins this round by a huge margin for outputting the most natural image of the lot with plenty of details. All the three phones are extremely powerful and therefore use the power of the processor to shoot images in auto HDR by default. But just for fun, I decided to switch off and switch on the HDR mode to see how individual algorithms function when you control them manually. I mean, for these phones, this test doesn't really matter, but I decided to try it nonetheless. I found out that the iPhone 10 does zilch to improve the dynamic range. Let me know if you spot anything different in the non-HDR and HDR images, except for maybe bringing out some details from the shadows by fixing the noise around the edges. The Pixel 2 definitely does a better job with HDR, wherein the camera brings out some amount of details in both highlights and the shadows. Oddly enough, the OnePlus 6 decides to underexpose areas which were already pretty properly exposed. Furthermore, it ends up adding more noise, something that was completely unexpected. Here's the thing, like I mentioned before, this is more like a bonus round for you guys to figure out how these cameras use the HDR mode. But since I have to pick a winner, I should go with the Pixel 2. Google's HDR algorithm is pretty lit in my opinion. As far as the forward depth of field in the portrait mode is concerned, the iPhone 10 does the most natural job, despite being the most dull and dreary photo of the lot. Firstly, it focuses only on the face and the rest of the body is out of focus. It is no doubt a very aggressive algorithm which we've already identified from our past comparisons. What I like about the Pixel 2's edge detection is that it literally identifies even strands of hair. That apart, it also captures some insane amount of details. On the other hand, the OnePlus 6's edge detection is fairly good and it finds a neat middle ground between the Pixel 2 and the iPhone 10. But we all know that the Pixel 2 wins this round. To compare the video recording of these three phones, I shot a 4K 30fps footage using all the three phones to maintain parity, despite the fact that the OnePlus 6 and the iPhone 10 can actually shoot 4K 60fps footage. I noticed that the OnePlus 6 does a great job of stabilizing the image, despite the fact that it uses only electronic image stabilization. In fact, as far as stabilization is concerned, all the three cameras are mostly on par. The same is the case for detail retention. But if you look closely, the iPhone 10 underexposes the area below the sunshade. However, both the Pixel 2 and the OnePlus 6 offer oversaturated colors, and the iPhone is the most muted of the lot. Moreover, the iPhone 10 also shoots at a lower bitrate of 25 megabits per second. In comparison, the Pixel 2 shoots at 47.95 megabits per second, whereas the OnePlus 6 captures at 42.14 megabits per second. What this means is that the Pixel 2 and the OnePlus 6 capture more information and therefore offer more details. And that's the reason why even the file sizes are higher. Here's where the OnePlus 6 pulls out the trump card. It records stereo audio at 48 kHz. The Pixel 2 and the iPhone 10 are pretty old school that way and capture only mono audio. Overall, OnePlus's strategy of finding the middle ground pays off once again. After intense deliberation, I decided to crown the OnePlus 6 as the winner in this round. Clearly, when you're capturing selfies, the OnePlus 6 offers far more details using its 16 megapixel front camera. Take a look at the 100% crop of the image to figure out for yourself. Look at the area around Ashish's beard and the black stain mark on his white t-shirt. It is filled with details. No prize for guessing, the OnePlus 6 takes the cake in this round too. I also shot a video sample using the front camera, considering a lot of folks actually shoot a lot of footage using the front cam. The OnePlus 6's front camera has a very narrow field of view, but it captures more details thanks to the fact that it is shooting at a higher bitrate. Essentially, all the pores and pimples on your face will be visible clearly. While the iPhone 10 and the Google Pixel 2 capture a wide angle footage, I'm afraid the OnePlus 6's image quality is better. Moreover, the stereo sound recording offered by the OnePlus 6 is of far superior quality compared to the iPhone 10 and the Pixel 2, both of which capture mono audio once again. Now, the narrow field of view might be annoying for some. I don't really have an issue with it as such. In fact, I'm crowning the OnePlus 6 as the winner once again. I shot this low light sample around 7:30 in the evening when it wasn't entirely dark, and at first glance you'll notice that the OnePlus 6's image looks vibrant and colorful compared to the others. For example, the blue color of the building has been cranked up a couple of notches. As far as detail retention and noise reduction is concerned, you really cannot tell the difference between the three images. However, pixel peeping will show you that the OnePlus 6 shot has a lot of noise around the edges. The Pixel 2 on the other hand captures a clean image with an accurate color reproduction as well. And in comparison, the iPhone 10 image has a greenish color cast and looks slightly dull too. I think the Pixel 2 wins this round hands down. Okay, most flagship smartphones these days don't need flash because low light performance is generally pretty good. But in extremely low light situations, having a good dual LED flash helps. But the iPhone 10 here has an advantage. It comes not only with the dual LED flash, it's also got this dual tone flash going on. Unlike the other two, the iPhone 10's actually got dual LED dual tone flash, and it falls nice and soft on the subject. It makes the subject look very natural. I will go with the iPhone 10 in this image. Okay, here's a word of advice. Don't use any of these three phones in extreme low light situations to shoot selfies. If you must, use the Pixel 2. And if you must take selfies in low light, use the screen flash. The OnePlus 6 takes a very noisy image, not worth using. The Pixel 2 shoots a soft selfie. And our winner, the iPhone 10, captures the most natural image with proper soft lighting on the subject's face. However, don't expect flagship grade images like you can capture from a Pixel 2, Samsung Galaxy S9 or an iPhone 10. You see, I was wrong. If you're planning on buying the OnePlus 6, you can still expect flagship grade camera performance from the phone.